Price described this syndrome where in one generation, parents had healthy teeth, kids had terrible teeth. Brother had good teeth, followed the ancestral diet. Other brother eating cookies and cereal. And cereal was around in those days. And John Post put sugar in his cereal because he wanted to one-up Kellogg. Yes, your child should chew healthier real foods, but it's really the low vitamin D and low vitamin K2 that were instrumental in the destruction in one generation of these people's mouths. No room for all their 32 teeth. Terrible crowding, narrow arches, and terrible decay and gum disease. And this was an epidemic. This was very normal in those days. So keep in mind that we have to think about these were such big cultural differences that many missionaries went to places and made people put on clothing. And that is really instrumental in cutting off Aboriginal people and us as humans from our environment. So everyone's just blaming these grains and all that. And yeah, those are a major part of the breakdown, don't get me wrong, but it's lack of sunlight. When we think about something like tuberculosis, many people don't remember this, but tuberculosis is a bacterial skin and lung infection. And prior to antibiotics, the cure to tuberculosis was lying in the sun at a place called a sanatorium. And so this was normal medical treatment, and it disappeared when big pharma came in, and that was, sort of the beginning of our demise here, is that we started to use a pill to fix something that was actually environmental, and it's still happening today. Now we can do that because I want my patients and I want anyone to have high vitamin D, even if they have to take a supplement. Is it as good as natural vitamin D? Definitely not. Is it good in a pinch? Yes, it is. And I think that taking a vitamin D supplement is a really good entry point into understanding how much better and healthier you're going to be, and into thinking, well, I'm taking a pill. What if I got some natural vitamin D? And I strongly advise that, because when you make vitamin D in your body, it's a little different process. It's attached to sulfur, one of my cartoon characters behind me. It's called sulfated vitamin D. And what that does is it allows your body to transport it. So sulfur is one of my cartoon characters, is the ultimate driver. If sulfur gets attached to something, it gets sulfated, and there's enzymes that attach it. Once something's been sulfated, it's good to go into the blood. So sulfur is the transporter that brings chemicals and it deactivates them. So if you have, a neurotransmitter, once it's sulfated, that will shut off the actual hormonal active component, and it'll be transported to wherever it's supposed to go. And when I say vitamin D, think sunlight, because prior to very recently, you couldn't get vitamin D other than cod liver oil or supplements. You have to get it outside. And we weren't afraid of the sun prior to the 1980s, and I remember that time. Because vitamin D is such a profound activator of the immune system, when kids are low in vitamin D, everything changes. The gut microbiome changes, the lung microbiome changes, and the oral or mouth microbiome changes. And it allows the species of bacteria to overgrow that we don't want. In the gut, it's candida or fungus, causes symptoms of SIBO, primarily a vitamin D deficiency. To anyone who has SIBO, if you don't know your vitamin D level and you don't keep it at 60, don't bother doing much else. That's root cause. Get more sunlight.
DoctorsToTrust.com. Please share this video with loved ones.